Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Fellowship of Nanaimo. Our mission is to create spiritual connection and bring compassion, discovery, and social justice to life. My name is Nuria, and I am the service leader this morning. My pronouns are she, her, elle in French. Please take a moment now to silence or turn off your cell phones. Thank you. Maybe while you're doing that, let's say hello to everyone attending on Zoom. If you turn to the camera at the back of the hall and wave, it will be in gallery mode, and so those in the hall and those on Zoom can wave to each other.
Technical issues made that everybody were here.
But the intention is here. Whatever your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, whatever your race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, whatever makes you who you are warmly welcomed here. In keeping with our Unitarian Universalist aspiration of radical inclusion, we invite you to share your pronouns as well as your name when introducing yourself, if you are comfortable doing so. We are grateful for a diversity of voices on Sunday mornings, and our services vary from week to week. Our service is between 60 and 75 minutes long. If this is your first time with us, a very special welcome to you. If you're joining us online, please consider sharing your contact information with us. You can share it with the host by going to the chat icon at the bottom of your screen. We'd love to welcome you in our community. We have a wonderful website, ufon.ca, spelled UFON.ca. We invite you to check it out for more detailed information about who we are, the services we offer, and how you can connect with us. We acknowledge today that we meet on the traditional territory of the Nanaimo First Nation. As Unitarians, we are committed to the work of reconciliation required to address the harm done to all Indigenous peoples and their cultures by non-Indigenous people. We have much to learn from the Indigenous perspective, including that the earth is the source of all life, and that our responsibility is to honor and care for it. We have quite a few announcements today, so get your little notebooks out. Today, after the service at 12:30, we will be having a general meeting, both in the fellowship and on Zoom. The Zoom link for the meeting will be the same as the one for the service. The purpose of the meeting is to approve our budget for the next fiscal year, which starts on July 1st. So that's today at 12:30. The following announcements are about combining next week's service and the Pride events. So watch for times, dates, and places. Next Sunday, June 8th, 11 to 12, is the Nanaimo Pride Parade and the post-parade Pride Festival, 12 to 5, at Maffeo Sutton Park. So the parade starts at 11. We're switching the service to 9:30. Our Sunday service, see, somebody said, oh, see, people are listening. Brownie points over there. Our Sunday service for that day will begin at 9:30. It will finish around 10:45 to allow fellowship members and friends time to walk in the parade and then come by the UFON table at the park. Please note that we will not be able to provide our Sunday service on Zoom, as all the members of the AV team are going to be away. This has only happened once in all the years we've been providing hybrid services. Kudos to our hard-working AV team. Also, there will be coffee on Sunday, but no snacks. Just enough to fuel everybody up. The Rainbow Committee invites you to join us for the Pride flag raising at Nanaimo City Hall in the upper parking lot, and that takes place on Tuesday, so it's this week. On Tuesday, June the 3rd, 5 to 7, to kick off Pride Week. For more information, see the Pride posters on the bulletin board at the back of the hall, or contact Rupert and Catherine Walker at welcoming@ufon.ca. So that's for Tuesday. Announcement from Francis. The fellowship, through its connection with Brecon United, has received an invitation to share in the celebration of a Coast Salish traditional feast, building relationships with Coast Salish people through food, culture, and learning. The event is on Saturday, June 14. The location is Nelson Point Road in Ladysmith. There is a poster, beautiful poster there at the back with the details about tickets, etc., and the info that I just gave you. And a reminder from Audrey Lomax that Chatters meets next Wednesday at 1 p.m. You got that? All of that? To find out all about special events, groups, and meetings taking place in the hall, you can go to the calendar on the website, you can read the weekly email sent to you on Friday, or check out the large whiteboards in the hall by the washrooms. Let us now enter into sacred time. Our music director, Leah, will lead us into worship through music. For anyone new today, the music was provided by Leah and our very own choir, the fabulous Foophonics. This morning's presenter is Reverend Debra Faulk. Part of our ministry team this year, along with Reilly Yeo, Reverend Debra joins us once a month, making what she calls the most beautiful commute drive from Victoria.
It is so good to be with you again today. To be joining you monthly has been one of the inspirations for me throughout this year. I offer these for our gathering words. We bid you welcome who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome who are seekers of a new faith, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome who entered this hall as a homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit, who find in these people a family of heart. Whoever you are and whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. And together let us worship with our eyes, with our ears, and with our fingertips. Let us love the world through heart, mind, and body. We feed our eyes upon the mystery and revelation in the faces of our human kin. We seek to know the wistfulness of the very young and the very old, the wistfulness of people at all times of life. We seek to understand the shyness behind arrogance, the fear behind pride, the tenderness behind clumsy strength, the anguish behind cruelty. All life flows into a great common life if we will only open our eyes to our companions. Let us worship with the opening of all of the windows of our being, with the full outstretching of our spirits. Life comes with singing and laughter, with tears and confiding, with a rising wave too great to be held in the mind and heart and body to those who have fallen in love with life. Let us worship and let us learn to love.
It is time to light our chalice. The words today are from Eric Williams, adapted from Eric Williams. We all emerge. We all emerge from, dwell within, are transformed by, and called back to love. May your mind be humbled before this mystery. May your heart grow hopeful by it. May you be sustained by this love always. May our chalice light illuminate its presence here.
And let us join our voices together. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we sing our opening song, Open the Door, with gusto.
Reach out your hands, I'll welcome you in. It's
For those of you who might not know, that song was written by Canadian composer Joyce Poley, Canadian Unitarian composer Joyce Poley. I'm going to invite Tony Turner to come and join me for what we call a time for all ages. I want to honor this congregation for doing time for all ages, whether there are all generations with us or not. The little ones rest within us, even if we don't have their little bodies here. Creating community is a wondrous thing. And I want to just acknowledge the flowers here this morning and thank Frances for bringing them. I think it's in celebration of Ron's birthday. Is that accurate? Happy birthday, Ron. We are going to create another bouquet. For community and creating community is a wondrous thing, a thing of beauty, ever-changing and requiring attention. Creating a bouquet is a wondrous thing, a thing of beauty. Like a community, it depends on the people participating, as a bouquet relies on the flowers available. Ever-changing, unique and unrepeatable, each flower and each person. We so appreciate the glory of springtime blooms, and let us create a participation bouquet to express our appreciation for the unique gifts each person brings. So let us show our gratitude. Tony and I will name some of the activities that have happened this congregational year. As we do, if you participated in any way, wave a hand or raise your hand. Let's practice. Those online too. Flowers will be added to the bouquet as we see hands. So it's up to you to create the bouquet. We are going to do this quite quickly, so get ready to wave. Anyone who attended a Sunday service in person? You're going to need to do this quick. Anyone who attended a Sunday service online? See how easy that was? Now let's watch the bouquet grow. Let's keep with Sunday mornings. Wave if you have sung during a service. If you have sung in the choir. If you have helped set up chairs. If you have helped put chairs away. If you're part of the AV team, done sound or slides. If you've been a service leader. Some of them might not fit. Isn't this just how we are too? If you've been a service leader or a service organizer, if you've done a reading or offered any part of a Sunday service, if you serve on the Sunday service committee, if you've helped with coffee prep, if you've been a greeter, if you've done coffee cleanup, if you've helped after service with refreshments, helped with children, taken the offering, or counted the money, if you've said hello to a newcomer, invited a friend, yay, there's even hands for that, if you've offered a ride. And now I'm going to let Tony do the next part. And I'll try it.
Hopefully I can read better than I... Oh, it doesn't look so bad. What have I done? Yes.
Would you like me to hold the basket?
No, it's actually better when it's on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, it's okay. Okay. And there is this building where we meet. Wave if you served on the building and grounds committee or team. Number of people. You picked up garbage or weeded. Took photos for rentals. Any picture takers out there? Researched insurance. Did some kind of building maintenance. Okay, yeah. Helped with clutter cleanup day. Yeah. Attended solar panel presentation. Okay, it's over back to you.
Okay. See, that went pretty
That went pretty good, yeah.
And it takes some dedication to administration for our community to flourish. Much of this is behind the scenes, so let's watch for waves. Wave if you've served on the board. Special. This year, I'm talking only this year. A very special flower for you folks. If you served on a committee, if you talked to anyone, if you read the newsletter or the e-news, read it, actually read it. If you went to the UFON website, if you updated the website, if you assisted with signage. Wave if you helped with the canvas. Wave if you pledged. Wave if you contributed to the service auction. And now it's Tony's turn.
Okay, here we go. Whoa, and the ongoing justice work we all engaged, which we're all engaged. Wave if you put a leaf on the greening tree. Remember our greening tree? Served on the environmental justice team. Gave to share the plate. Showed up at a justice event. Participated in the rainbow team. Assisted with the shelter. Joined a march or a rally. And you learned something by attending. Okay, it's back to you, Deborah.
Okay, we're getting there.
Okay.
And fellowship. Caring, everyone is on the caring team. Wave if you visited or phoned somebody or offered a ride or made a meal. If you offered hospitality, those who made coffee, washed dishes, hosted events, or just all around helped out. Those who serve on the Committee on Shared Ministry, who help deal with any conflicts within the community and keep the ministers happy. Wave if you are a lay chaplain. Yes, Debbie, you get to wait. You get to hold your hand up now. Wave if you have ever considered lay chaplaincy. Wave if you ever promoted our lay chaplains. Yay. Raise your hand if you've participated in any of the affinity groups, the chatter, the men's group, the women's group, the book club, the poetry. Wave if you've attended anything other than a Sunday morning event here. Okay, it's your turn.
Okay, good luck finding flowers.
That must be because we're pretty much done.
Yeah. The waves of participation have created this bouquet, and we have just a few more additions. Some sage for wisdom each person brings with their respective perspective and experience, their perspective and experience. And finally, time. gratitude for the time you all give to our beloved... Is it already in there? You give to our beloved community. And let's take a moment in time to acknowledge the beauty created by our sharing ourselves with each other.
Our participation bouquet.
Ta-da! Yeah, you did it. Very good. Good job.
And let us sing this song that we sing to call the children out, but we're staying in. And we still sing this song. I just want you to know how awesome it is that this community does that.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go, to nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our hearts as you go. Nous vous enterrons d'amour maintenant et toujours, que vos cœurs soient aimés pour toujours. Cultivons l'automne ciel jour après jour, nous vous enterrons d'amour pour toujours.
As a spiritual community, it is our intention to be authentically present to one another, especially in these difficult times. One way we do this is by including in the service a time to listen to the significant personal milestones in our lives. If you have had such a milestone and wish to share it, now is the time to do so. We'll begin with those of you in the hall, and then we'll invite those attending on Zoom. When you come to the microphone, please introduce yourself with your full name and drop a pebble for your joy or concern. As I place the final pebble in the water bowl for the joys and concerns that have been left unspoken, I ask that you hold in your heart everything that you have heard and felt.
We share in love, we listen in love, we hold one another in love. Each joy and concern we witness and learn and grow together in love, and grow together in love.
Holding so much in our hearts these days, I invite us into a time for silent reflection, time spent together and yet alone in our togetherness. We take time to quiet ourselves from the busyness of the week, each of us with lives filled with commitments and responsibilities, each of us with joys and sorrows, hopes and concerns. We come with a longing for connection, to be with one another, with people of shared values, common understanding, and communal aspirations. We spend time in silence together, for there is much between us that is beyond words. We collectively long for an equitable and peace-filled world, a world where every being flourishes, where our interdependency calls us to love and justice. In this place made holy by our being with one another, let us enter the silence with words from Ojibwe poet Richard Wagamese, who said, "I've been giving consideration to the phrase, all my relations, for some time now. It's hugely important. It's our saving grace in the end. It points to the truth that we are all related, we are all connected, that we all belong to each other. The most important word is all. Not just those who look like me, sing like me, dance like me, speak like me, pray like me, or behave like me. All my relations. That means every person, just as it means every rock, mineral, blade of grass, and creature. We live because everything does. If we were to choose collectively to live that teaching, the energy of our change of consciousness would heal each of us and heal the planet.
Our reading this morning is a combination of quotes from Adrienne Maree Brown's book, Emergent Strategies, Shaping Change, Changing Worlds, which has been part of Reverend Debra's inspiration for this morning's topic. Do you already know that your existence, who and how you are, is in and of itself a contribution to the people and place around you? Not after or because you do some particular thing, but simply the miracle of your life. And that the people around you and the place and places have contributions as well. Do you understand that your quality of life and your survival are tied to how authentic and generous the connections are between you and the people and place you live with and in? Are you actively practicing generosity and vulnerability in order to make the connections between you and others clear, open, available, durable? Generosity here means giving of what you have without strings or expectations attached. Vulnerability means showing your needs. Everything is connected. The soil needs rain, organic matter, air, worms, and life in order to do what it needs to do to give and receive life. Each element is an essential component. Organizing takes humility and selflessness and patience and rhythm, while our ultimate goal of liberation will take many expert components. Some of us build and fight for land, healthy bodies, healthy relationships, clean air, water, homes, safety, dignity, humanizing education. Others of us fight for food and political prisoners and abolition and environmental justice. Our work is intersectional and multifaceted. Nature teaches us that our work has to be nuanced and steadfast. And more than anything, that we need each other at our highest natural glory in order to get free. If the goal was to increase the love, rather than winning or dominating a constant opponent, I think we could actually imagine liberation from constant oppression. We would suddenly be seeing everything we do, everyone we meet, not through the tactical eyes of war, but through eyes of love. We would see that there's no such thing as a blank canvas, an empty land, or a new idea. But everywhere there is complex, ancient, fertile ground full of potential.
Please rise in body or in spirit, and we'll sing together hymn number 389, Gathered Here. We'll sing it through once in unison, and then we'll sing it twice in a round. And if you're on that side of the room, please follow Tony. And if you're on this side, please follow me. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near.
I love raspberries. So do the hordes of gray squirrels in my neighborhood. Our first year, those gray rodents had happy berry bellies, and I had less than a dozen, just enough to know what I was missing. Last year, my eldest grandson and I built an enclosure to keep the critters out. It worked. This year, he came to help me build a more permanent structure. In preparation for the structure being built, one of my housemates and I went into the garden with the intention of moving some of the canes to facilitate easier harvesting. Well, we each moved one. In their third year, those canes were well rooted, and our physical ability and agility did not match our intentions. So, reevaluation of the plan. Looking at the situation with a shifted perspective, honoring what was already there and healthy, as well as our own limitations, we now have 2 U shapes instead of 2 rows. Somehow I like that, to use. And I shouted, hey, we just used emergent strategizing. Now, perhaps, obviously, the process of thinking about the idea of emergent spirituality, my original title for this morning's reflection, before I went Spirit Be Nimble, inspired what we did with the raspberries to be identified as emergent strategy. The more I explore and engage the concept, the more I feel it may be a viable option for us in these incredibly chaotic times. How do we even begin to address our current situation, and how can we as community support and sustain each other and perhaps contribute to the wider community in dealing with what is confronting us now? Emergent thinking may possibly be a paradigm shift that can at least assist as we struggle to somehow make sense of, or at least do more than merely survive, these frenzied times. Times that are so unpredictable. I'm actually pretty early in my exploration and understanding of the concept of emergent thought, which is broadly utilized in many disciplines: business, psychology, philosophy, and theology. What I do know is that the more I delve into this concept, the more it opens up potential and possibilities that may be helpful in these days. Emergent spirituality, I thought, was a novel idea, my own idea. And then late in my research, I actually did a Google search of emergent spirituality, only to discover that there are a number of philosophers who use the term, books written about it, and even an institute for the study of emergent spirituality. So for those of you who may have explored some of these philosophers and those familiar with the concept from other disciplines, I ask for some grace as a novice at this idea. Emergent thinking is characterized by building upon existing ideas and concepts rather than starting from scratch. It involves connecting and combining ideas to create new insights and possibilities that can lead to the discovery of unforeseen possibilities that only become apparent when comparing and combining generated ideas. Deep-rooted raspberry canes can easily be harvested from a U rather than a row. The essence of emergent thinking is the ability to adapt, to sense opportunities, to generate novel ideas in response to complex and uncertain circumstances. It transcends traditional linear thinking and embraces a more flexible and open-minded approach, being nimble. Embracing emergent thinking has the potential to navigate ambiguity, identify emerging trends, and see opportunities for innovation. It also really fosters a culture of creativity. According to Linda Hill, a renowned professor at Harvard Business School, nurturing innovation requires cultivating a culture of creativity within organizations. This entails creating an environment where diverse perspectives are encouraged, collaboration is fostered, and experimentation is celebrated. I have seen collaborations happening so much in the last while. A couple of other significant ideas from emergent thinking seem particularly relevant. It is an optimistic perspective, holding the potential for innovation and possibility. We need this optimism these days. At the core of emergent thinking is collaboration and the recognition of interdependence. Everything is connected. Echoes of our core values and principles. We so need this these days. Our Unitarian roots as religious free thinkers gives us a head start, as many, if not most, in our midst are independent thinkers, challenge authority, norms, and status quo with critical reasoning while accepting, respecting, and perhaps even welcoming different perspectives. Our faith orientation supports emergent thinking, though I do wonder sometimes if the reliance on logic, reason, and empirical evidence may hinder the spiritual experience. In an article reviewing one of the emergent spirituality philosophers, Tim Freck, it said, and this is a quote, "We understand life through the stories we tell. Contemporary society is experiencing a soul crisis because we have fallen under the spell of a particularly bleak story. The great religious myths that gave life meaning in the past have crumbled under skeptical scrutiny. So we've put our faith in science, which proclaims that we are living meaningless lives in a universe that is evolved by chance, waiting for the finality of death." Not very exciting. Philosopher Tim Freck offers an alternative to this pessimistic worldview. He says the new philosophy he calls emergent spirituality, which reconciles modern scientific knowledge and perennial spiritual wisdom by suggesting that everything is emerging into existence through the evolutionary process, including those qualities of life considered spiritual. Now, reading this brought to mind a quote that I first recall hearing at the Parliament of World's Religions in Toronto in 2018 from environmental lawyer and activist Gus Speth, who said, "I used to think that the top global environmental problems were biodiversity loss, ecosystem collapse, and climate change. I thought that with 30 years of good science, we could address these problems, but I was wrong. The top environmental problems are selfishness, greed, and apathy. And to deal with these, we need a spiritual and cultural transformation, and we scientists don't know how to do that." I'm not sure I agree with him. I think many scientists do know, but a spiritual and cultural transformation is needed these days to address the polycrisis, the multiple crises of our time. Our faith community, spiritual homes are being called upon to respond to the need. Many congregations are finding people seeking a sense of belonging and a need for a moral compass are coming through their doors, are drawn into our communities. Spirituality for me is fundamentally about relationship and connection. The connection to my best self, to my moral compass, to the interdependent web of existence. This is a lifeline, this connection, this interdependence, and it keeps me grounded and working towards wholeness, keeps me in community and out of isolation. The combination of spirituality and emergent thinking fits well. The constant invitation to look at and understand the world through this lens of connection and relationality. Now, 40 years ago, in 1985, when our principles were first officially affirmed, it seemed that all was set. 6 principles. beginning with an affirmation of the dignity and worth of persons, and from there, a consensus on a set of qualities of character and ways of being in relationship and community. And beyond that, we're most descriptive of what we were and what we aspired to be. And then, from the floor of General Assembly, an additional principle was proposed. And in that very moment, it was agreed a seventh principle should join the other six. It was like, how could we have forgotten this? And so we read, we affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. The affirmation of interdependence of all existence arrives from fundamental theological and scientific insights, from the ecological sciences, which I think inspired the seventh principle 40 years ago. There is an agreed understanding that every form of life depends on other living things and on the non-living physical environment as well, from the subatomic realm to the utmost bounds of the cosmos. Our seventh principle is also a theological statement. It expresses that this is how we believe and feel the world is in its deepest, truest sense, stating that we all participate in an interdependent web of all existence is a worldview which sees a oneness in things. It is a felt idea. It's something we feel is utterly true. Capital T, true. It's the deep-seated belief that everything is part of a single underlying substance and reality. Essentially, this means that in spite of appearances, there is no true separation between things and people and planets. That at the heart of the matter, there is a universal oneness. This speaks to the core of emergent thinking, of the profound connection of all things. All my relations, from Richard Wagamese. Adrienne Marie Brown's readings as well that Nuria offered. Everything is related. We need to hold this close, this sense of interdependence, even with those with whom we may not agree about all things. We at least know we share this planet. We have that in common for sure. This is our spiritual grounding. Our interconnection calls us to love and justice. If the goal was to increase the love rather than winning or dominating a constant opponent, I think we could actually imagine liberation from constant oppression. Thank you, Nuria, for offering that. Blessed are those who choose to be part of a spiritual community, the fertile ground of potential and connection, a place where our spirits can be nimble as we try and understand the great questions of life, a place to be nurtured and nourished, to be comforted and to offer comfort, to magnify influence of healthy individual and collective contribution to a common good. Our spiritual communities are, or can be, love refueling stations, affirming our belonging, the gift of our being, and inviting our spirits to be nimble and ever-seeking connection and wholeness. We are blessed to be part of a faith community. May we never take it lightly and work for its wellness. And I thank you for your attention and invite Nuria to offer more thanks.
Thank you, Reverend Debra. Debbie and Charla will now pass the baskets for the offering. Thank you, Debbie and Charla. For those of us here with us for the first time, your presence is your contribution. Those online can go to our website. Sorry, I think I just figured out how not to spit into this thing. So it's a bit late, but better late than never. Those online can go to our website and click the blue donate button on the home page to give. To help the wider community, half of all cash donations will be given to our charity of the month. Our charity for June is PFLAG Canada Nanaimo. PFLAG Canada, the parent group, is national, non-profit organization founded in Toronto in 2003. The Nanaimo chapter was founded in 2017. PFLAG holds monthly peer support meetings for members of the Rainbow community and their parents, families, partners, friends, and allies. Everyone is welcome. PFLAG Nanaimo usually meets the first Saturday of the month, 11 to 12:30, at the Nanaimo Family Life Association, except for Saturday, June 14th, when it will meet at the Nanaimo Harbourfront Library. If you're making a donation and wish your donation to go to this charity, please indicate PFLAG Canada Nanaimo on your e-transfer or check. If you want your donation to go to the charity of the month, I just said that in 2 different ways. Thank you for your support.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
I offer these closing words for our service today and encourage people to stay for the general meeting. These words are from Lauren Brantz. In a time of hate, love is an act of resistance. In a time of fear, faith is an act of resistance. In a time of misinformation, education is an act of resistance. In a time of poor leadership, I pause there, community is an act of resistance. In a time like this, joy is an act of resistance. Resist, resist, resist. And let us join our voices together again in singing our closing song, The Fire of Commitment. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit.
Guiding hands and hearts and spirits into the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by courage and choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, when our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Are you going to do the words? I'll blow. It's already out.
It is time to extinguish the chalice. And the words will be on the board for you. Oh, what did I say? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry hearts again. We are nearing the end of our service. After we sing Carry the Flame, you have the opportunity to join a social group. In the hall, there are refreshments and discussion. If you want to join an online breakout room, stay online and the host will put you there. I want to thank the many people who have given their time and energy to make today's service so wonderful. The Sunday Services Committee and today's service organizer is Catherine Hazel. The audiovisual team, Leah, our music director, the greeters, offering collectors, those at the welcoming table, the kitchen volunteers who come early and stay late for cleanup, those who brought food and flowers, and we had lots today. Our heartfelt gratitude to all of you.
And the fabulous Foo
I remind you that the flowers had been brought by Francis for Ron's birthday, besides the one for all the volunteers. We'll now sing our final song, Carry the Flame. The words are on the wall in the hall. Our custom is to stand and hold hands or touch elbows as you are comfortable.